Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. I am your host, Stephen James. Glad to be here with all of you guys here today. Hit the like, subscribe and comment. Hit that bell for notifications. It really helps a lot. So for those who might not be familiar, there was a case a while back called The Boy Who Was Locked in a Box. This was about an adopted boy who was locked in a 8x8 box by his adopted father and mother. The father ended up serving 5 years in prison, last year, his trial. While the mother was set to face trial this past month of June. However, she took a plea deal and pleaded guilty, and she got away with no prison time whatsoever. Now, this isn't about, well, how can the husband's doing prison time and she's not doing prison time? It ain't about that. Personally, I hope for both of them to serve prison time for what the hell they did to their son. And with that being said, let's get on with today's episode, shall we? Woman who locked adopted son, who was 14, in a box as punishment tears up while learning that she will not have to face jail time. So for transparency here, I do know about this case. Her husband was on trial for the exact same crime. He ended up getting prison time. I was actually quite surprised that she actually was not facing jail time of any sort due to her involvement in this situation when it came to their adopted special needs son. When I found out that she took like a plea deal, I think it was, and it turns out she didn't have to serve any jail time whatsoever, which was actually mind-boggling. I was like, wait, what? No jail time whatsoever, getting 10 years of probation, maybe longer, but she basically got away with it, like a slap on the wrist, if I'm being really honest. Many of you might not have any idea what I'm talking about, in case you don't follow like true crime or crime trials through YouTube or whatever it may be. But nonetheless, let's get into the episode. So the woman's name was Tracy Ferriter. I don't know how you pronounce her last name, so I do apologise. She's 48. She pleaded guilty to one count of third-degree child neglect, third-degree felony imprisonment, and first-degree aggravated child abuse. Atlanta Black Star reports the 48-year-old admitted she and her husband Timothy locked their adopted son in a box which was just 8 foot by 8 foot as a disciplinary measure. If I got that right, I probably butchered that, but never mind. English is my first language, believe it or not. They claim that this was to punish him for lying, threatening classmates, stealing valuables, and attacking relatives. The couple from Florida, of course this is from Florida, adopted the child while he was a toddler and said that he had ADHD and reactive attachment disorder. The latter is a condition which makes it more difficult for a child to form emotional attachments. With her guilty plea on Monday the 24th of June, Circuit Judge Howard Coates handed Ferriter 10 years probation and a year of house arrest, which also means that she will not be going to jail, which I think is stupid, but it is what it is. Including paying a $2,000 fine, having a mental health evaluation, completing 300 hours of community service, as well as being banned from any contact with the victim, who is now in foster care. Ferriter became tearful in the press conference. "We were living a life that's not what is portrayed in the media." She went on to insist that they were a loving family. Really? Adding, there was lots of things that nobody knew. "We were a completely loving family. I love my kids. We just tried to do with the best we had." You know when some people are just so full of shit, like you just want to like reach out to them and just smack them just because they're so full of shit? And like situations like this, it makes you feel that way. When it comes to parents who neglect their kids in some sort of way or inflict some sort of harm on their kids. Like, I'm not a parent, but I'm an uncle, and I love all my nieces and nephews. Stories like this, people who hurt their kids or neglect their kids, it really makes me angry. Because, like, you don't realise what you have in front of you. And you don't realise, sure, it could be challenging being a parent. Absolutely, I'm not saying anything different. You might have struggles. Your child might have struggles more than most normal kids. That's the whole point of being a parent, that you help them through those struggles, and you help yourself through them as well. Like, you work together as a team unit in a sense. So that way the child doesn't feel alone, the child doesn't feel an outcast, doesn't feel like a weird individual. Yet these two idiots, her and her husband, decided to lock their kid in a box. Ferriter and her husband were arrested in February 2022 after the child ran away from home. The town of police, the child is, he had run away because I feel like nobody loves me. And those are words that you never want to hear come out from a kid's mouth. Whether it be your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, whatever it may be, your daughter, your son. Those are words you never want to hear come out of a kid's mouth, in my opinion. Shortly after, the couple were then taken into custody by Jupiter police. Last year, Timothy, the husband, was found guilty of the same charges and sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 5 years probation. Though Ferriter's case had to be delayed while she was looking for an attorney to represent her. Investigators found thousands of videos on the Ring camera of the abuse, the arrest report stated. An Artivision states, the victim stated the spankings would take place in his bedroom and he would be naked, bent over his bed. The victim stated that he could recall one spanking was so painful he fell off his bed in pain. So before the husband went on trial, I didn't know anything about this situation at all. It wasn't until I was following Law and Crime and Court TV through YouTube that I discovered this trial. And then I found out the wife was involved as well, and that at a later date she would be on trial for her involvement in this situation. So he got found guilty, 5 years in prison, 5 years probation, and then it was her turn last month. So I was like, okay, well, I'm interested to see where this is going to go, what she's going to get from this. And it turns out she took some kind of plea deal, as I said earlier, and as I said in the report. That way she avoided prison time. Yes, she's under house arrest. Yes, she's on probation. Yes, she has to do like a mental health evaluation and whatever else. But at the same time, she's basically getting away with a slap on the wrist, I feel like. I don't care what she has to do, how much the fine is. She's basically getting away with a slap on the wrist. Which I feel like is really wrong, considering the fact that she had just as much involvement in the case as her husband did. So why the hell are they not both facing amount of time in prison for their crime? It really does baffle me how some people can get away with some shit like this. I say get away with it, but you know what I mean. Like, obviously they're not getting away with it, but like, in the same way, they kind of are. If that makes any sense. Child is now in a proper foster care system where I hope he's being better treated. And he's with a much loving family and a very much supportive family, which can actually help him and be beneficial for him as he grows older. That's the episode here today, guys. If you have any comments or feelings you want to share down below in the comment section about this case, about this situation, about this episode in general, please feel free to do so. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.